one of the greatest figures in the history of the church, who was responsible to a great extent in renewing religious life and in renewal of the church's prayer life itself, is Saint Teresa of Avila, a doctor of the church who has written the finest and the loftiest teachings on prayer. And all this she accomplished in her life in spite of the many, many challenges she had from within and outside, was only because she had this confidence in who her God was. Friends, as we look at the life of Saint Teresa of Avila, may we grow in that confidence of what God can do in our world today, in our church, in our life.
Teresa was born in 1515. Teresa's father was rigidly honest and pious. Teresa's mother loved romance novels, but because her husband objected to these fanciful books, she hid the books from him. Teresa liked the romances too. When she was 7 years old, she convinced her older brother to go and become martyrs. They got out as far as the road from the city before an uncle found them and brought them back. While some interpret this as an early example of sanctity, others find this an early example of her ability to stir up trouble. After this incident, she led a fairly ordinary life. As a teenager, she cared only about boys, clothes, flirting, and rebelling. When she was 16, her father decided she was out of control and sent her to a convent. At first, she hated it, but eventually she began to enjoy it, partly because the convent was a lot less strict than her father. Still, when the time came for her to choose between marriage and religious life, she had a tough time making the decision. When she finally chose religious life, she thought that it was the only safe place for someone as prone to sin as she was. Teresa was too charming. Everyone liked her, and she liked to be liked. She found it too easy to slip into a worldly life and ignore God. The convent encouraged her to have visitors to whom she would teach mental prayer because their gifts helped the community economy. But Teresa got more involved in flattery, vanity, and gossip than spiritual guidance. Then Teresa fell ill with malaria. When she had a seizure, she woke up 4 days later. She learned they had dug a grave for her. She was paralyzed for 3 years and was never completely well. Yet, instead of helping her spiritually, her sickness became an excuse to stop her prayer completely. She wasn't healthy enough, and so forth. For years, she hardly prayed at all, under the guise of humility. As she started to pray again, God gave her spiritual delights. The more love she felt, the harder it was to offend God. At the age of 43, she became determined to found a new convent that went back to the basics of a contemplative order, a simple life of poverty devoted to prayer. When plans leaked about her first convent, she was denounced from the pulpit and threatened with the Inquisition. The town started legal proceedings against her. In the face of this open war, she went ahead calmly, as if nothing was wrong, trusting in God. Soon she had postulants clamoring to get into her reform convents. Many people thought about what she said and wanted to learn about prayer from her. Soon her ideas about prayer swept not only through Spain, but all of Europe. She died on October 4 at the age of 67. She earned the rare distinction of being declared a doctor of the Church